Welcome to GESARA for Dummies. It is the 22nd of April 2025. Let's look at today's news from Professor William Liebenberg, prepared by Martin Stein. Please like, share and subscribe. Join our Telegram group in the comments below. Thank you. Let's go. Iraq and dinar RV. Iraq's dinar solid reserves fully back currency. Iraq's foreign currency reserves remain sufficient to fully back the national currency in circulation, the Prime Minister's financial advisor revealed on Monday. Advisor Mudir Mohammed Salih told Shafaq News, the reserves are adequate to cover 3 months' worth of imports, indicating overall stability, stressing that the effective external use of foreign reserves by balancing the need to maintain the dinar's external purchasing power and exchange rate stability with efficient reserve management is a core objective of Iraq independent monetary policy. The Central Bank of Iraq reported on March 31 that net foreign reserves would stand at 130.81 trillion dinars in 2024, down 10.18% from 145.64 trillion dinars in 2023. The central bank attributed the decline to rising domestic public debt used to cover the current budget deficit. Iraq confirms full forex readiness, then drops the deficit card. This is the setup for the switch. The pattern is too precise to ignore. A wave of signals floods out of Iraq. 1. $1.67 billion infrastructure blitz launched in DHI core. 2. CBI confirms foreign reserves can fully back the dinar. 3. MasterCard freezes all Iraqi-issued card transactions. Domestic international. 4. WTO workshops accelerate Iraq's accession timeline, in the background. 5. Virtual banking and SAMA trading rails go active. It looks like a country on the verge of full financial integration. Then suddenly, boom! Iraqi Prime Minister admits real deficit in federal budget. At first glance, it feels like a contradiction. In reality, it's the final setup move before a currency reset. Here's what they're doing. They've already built the digital banking rails. They've secured the reserves. They've cleaned up smuggling pipelines. They've aligned with global trade partners. Now they drop the budget deficit admission, not as a weakness, but as a public trigger to justify what comes next. Everything is in place, but the budget can't hold at this rate. This is how you prepare a nation and its allies for a revaluation shockwave. Flood the news with readiness. Show the investment momentum. Then reveal the deficit pressure that forces the rate correction. It's not chaos. It's choreography. The deficit isn't the problem. It's an excuse. And the rate is the solution. The GESARA law. Google says Donald Trump's plan to break up the company would harm the US in the global race with China. Bye-bye Google. Banks and the economy. We have arrived. Trump versus Powell. New gold-backed sound money plan revealed. In a recent interview with SOAR Financially, former economic advisor to President Trump, Dr. Judy Shelton illuminated a potential path towards a sound money system, hinting at a clash between the former president's agenda and the current Federal Reserve under Chairman Jerome Powell. The discussion saw Shelton, a senior fellow at the Independent Institute, delve into the intricacies of the U.S. economy, the role of the Federal Reserve, and the potential for a gold-backed treasury bond to reshape the nation's financial future. Shelton didn't shy away from expressing her concerns about the Fed's current influence, stating unequivocally, "I think the Fed today is too political, too prominent in the credit markets and too powerful. A central theme of the interview was Shelton's advocacy for a gold-backed treasury bond. Shelton highlighted the significant increase in the value of gold since 1973, noting the U.S.'s substantial gold reserves held at a considerably lower book value. She sees an opportunity to leverage this appreciation by offering a bond with gold convertibility at maturity. She questioned the accountability of the Fed and the immense power wielded by its chairman. Here you have someone with so much power in a position to channel financial rewards to some segments of society at the expense of others who could make interest rates be zero so that people who save a little bit every week in their bank account get zilch, Shelton argued. The conversation also touched upon the recent surge in gold prices, currently around $3,400 per ounce. Shelton attributed this rise to a combination of factors, including increased demand from central banks and individual investors seeking a haven amidst global uncertainty. Importantly, she views gold as a surrogate for the integrity of our currency, expressing her hope for a future official link. Furthermore, she raised concerns about the Fed potentially undermining the president's economic agenda, referencing perceived disagreements between Trump's desire for lower inflation and interest rates and Powell's commentary on trade policies. When directly asked if she would consider the position of federal chair if it became available, Shelton responded, "I would be honored to be considered." Judy Shelton's interview on Soaring financially paints a picture of a potential future where the concept of a gold-backed currency, championed by figures like herself, who have advised President Trump, could directly challenge the current monetary policy framework of the Federal Reserve. As the economic landscape continues to evolve, the ideas presented by Shelton in this interview could gain further traction, particularly if there is a renewed push for policies aligned with the sound money principles she espouses. Either Powell's resignation or rate cuts would mean a federal takeover. Commodities. History. Gold surges above $3,400 for the first time as President Trump threatens independence from the Federal Reserve, cue military intelligence. Post 2619. Gold shall destroy the Fed. The writing is on the wall. Gold is arving at an alarming rate. Jerome Powell will be fired. Dr. Judy Shelton will head the Fed. The gold standard will be reintroduced. We are at the doorstep. Payment systems. Wow. Currently, 72 crypto-related ETFs are pending SEC approval for listing or options listing. Most of them are XRP ETFs. Paul Atkins was sworn into office today and has officially started his tenure as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC in the United States is officially a pro-crypto administration. XRP news. What to expect if XRP ETFs get the green light from the SEC? Expectations on the XRP price reflect strong bullish trends in the long run, as most of the ripple's potential would take effect before long. The resolution of the Ripple SEC lawsuit is on the horizon, with the SEC expected to turn in status updates by June 15. There's more bullish news for Ripple, as pressure is on the SEC to approve spot ETFs for the token. XRP news shows that the Ripple ETFs could cause accumulation of institutional capital. The accumulation could cause a rally similar to Bitcoin's last year. Already, XRP news reveals that Ripple Futures ETFs will launch by April 30, increasing the chances of the spot ETF launch this year. ProShares future ETFs are launching, and that could herald the coming of regular spot ETFs for Ripple. We are getting closer. Currency wars. Gold is not just any commodity, it's money. Under normal circumstances, gold does not move the way it is now. It's already up another $58 tonight, trading above $3,483. This is the end of the US dollar's dominance. Life in America is about to change in ways few can imagine. Now gold has reached a new all-time high of $3,500 for the first time ever. Can keep up with its revaluation. The US dollar has lost over 40% of its purchasing power compared to gold in 1 year. This should be the biggest story in the world, yet it is not. This tells you everything. Gold to the rescue, how African nations are banking on bullion. As global financial uncertainty persists, several African countries have been turning to gold as a strategic tool to stabilize currencies, build reserves, and shield their economies from volatility. With prices now surpassing $3,500 per troy ounce, their gold-focused policies are gaining even more relevance. Zimbabwe launched a gold-backed currency, ZiG, in April 2024 to fight hyperinflation and bring financial stability. Uganda plans to buy domestic gold from artisanal miners to boost its foreign exchange reserves and reduce reliance on volatile global markets. South Sudan aims to diversify reserves by adding gold, according to central bank Governor James Alec Garang. Madagascar's central bank is investing in gold to offset falling vanilla exports and support the national currency. Tanzania began requiring miners and traders to sell 20% of their gold to the central bank, strengthening reserves. Nigeria is considering legislation to have 30% of reserves in gold, with the central bank becoming the main buyer. This move in gold should seriously wake people up to the fact that something concerning is going on. The Iraqi dinar's role. Its revaluation triggers the reset, as Iraq's economic integration destabilizes the petrodollar. The Trump card is defined as a coded operation, rooted in Trump's authority, to shift the world to a gold-backed financial system, ending the cabal's fiat currency manipulation. Trump's intent, to dismantle cabal-controlled financial systems, free humanity from economic oppression, and secure his legacy as a liberator. Are you awake yet? Gold Standard will return. That sums up your Tuesday news. See you tomorrow.